Yo, what's up, guys? It's KG once again. Not feeling too great today for some reason, just feeling a bit down. But you know what they say, regardless of how you feel, you must just wake up, dress up, and show up. So, yeah, I'm here. So, in this video, I would be talking to you guys about the 5 interventions that I believe can transform this country for the better. Firstly, let me start off by saying that the ANC leadership is too weak and too corrupt to effectively tackle our fundamental problems as a nation. South Africa needs sincere, bold, and decisive leadership if it's ever going to transform for the better. We are in desperate need of decisive leadership that is not afraid to make tough and unpopular decisions that are in the best interest of the nation and its people. Someone on social media posted, if the ANC survives the next election, then South Africa will not. In other words, the future of this country depends on how South Africans vote in the next election. For almost 27 years, the ANC has failed to improve the lives of the poor and grow our economy. For example, according to Stats SA, as of April 2021, our unemployment rate is at 32.5%, the highest it's ever been in 13 years. To put this rate into perspective, about 7.2 million South Africans are unemployed. When compared to other countries that have a similar history as ours, many of those countries have improved the lives of their people. Asia, for example, has seen a lot of economic development and growth in many countries in the last couple of years. That growth can be directly attributed to great national leadership, accountability, and a zero-tolerance policy in terms of corruption, especially in government. For as long as there is no accountability at government level and for as long as corruption is smiled upon, SA will not transform for the better. There are 5 main areas that need to be prioritized if we are to see significant change as a nation. Number 1, better control of our borders. We need better control of our borders. Like I always say, I don't have a problem with immigration, but I have a problem with illegal immigration. Having an influx of undocumented immigrants poses various risks. For example, crime is bound to increase because you have millions of people you can't account for. These people can't do anything and get away with it because you can't trace them. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a foundation for an anarchic state. Our crime rates are extremely high because of this. Not to say that all crime in South Africa is committed by illegal immigrants, but they certainly make it worse. Uncontrolled or illegal immigration also drains the limited resources of the country because it is a form of unmanaged and unplanned population growth. Our government has failed to develop or create new key infrastructure in the last couple of years, and so South Africans and illegal immigrants are all competing for the same limited resources. For example, because of Eskom's failure to grow the power supplying capacity, we now have a power crisis that could have been avoided. Now, the fact that there are millions of illegal immigrants flocking into the country puts more pressure on a power grid that was already struggling. Government hospitals are filled by illegal immigrants to a point that poor South Africans can't get the service they deserve. Again, I have nothing against foreigners, but I'm not happy with the manner in which immigration is handled by our government. This failure, amongst others, directly talks to our declining economy. Consider the following quotes about illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is a crisis for our country. It is an open door for drugs, criminals, and potential terrorists to enter our country. It is straining our economy, adding costs to our judicial, healthcare, and education systems. Timothy Murphy. If you want to stop illegal immigration, you have to make it so that the people that hire the illegal immigrants will not be in a position to hire them. Jesse Ventura. Besides taking jobs from American workers, illegal immigration creates huge economic burdens on our healthcare system, our education system, our criminal justice system, our environment, our infrastructure, and our public safety. Jen Ting. Obviously, the problem of immigration or illegal immigration is not unique to South Africa. A lot of developed countries and developing countries are also struggling with this issue, and the sentiment is more or less the same as it relates to, the risks that illegal immigration poses to the progress of those particular nations. The second intervention that SA desperately needs is a change in the governing system. The reason why there is a lack of accountability in government is because our current political system allows for the concentration of power in one political party. That is why the ANC is so arrogant and power drunk. The concept of a ruling party is a big part of our problems. This is why we have a governing party that prioritizes the needs of the party over the needs of the people they are mandated to serve. Their goal is to preserve the ANC at all costs, even if it means doing it at the expense of the poor. So what we need is a multi-party cabinet chosen on the basis of competency and a real passion for a particular portfolio. Instead of having a party-based government whose ministers are appointed on the basis of their comradeship, instead of competency and a sincere desire to serve the people. The head of state as well needs to be elected by the people and not a party. As much as we vote for a particular party, we do not choose the person that party appoints for the top seat. This is why most heads of state are mere puppets put there to protect the interests of the party and powerful private sector individuals. Number 3, we have to be tougher on crime. SA has some of the highest crime rates in the world. Violent crimes like murder, hijacking, and rape are very common in this country. According to the SAPS, about 58 people get murdered in South Africa every single day. There are a lot of factors that contribute to high crime rates, and one of those factors is high unemployment. Whenever a particular population grows quicker than the growth of its economy, crime becomes a way of escape for many in an attempt to make a living. Another major reason why our crime rates are so high is because our judicial system is rather weak and not that tough on criminals. The kind of crimes that occur in South Africa and the regularity thereof suggests that lawbreakers are not afraid of our legal system. Many have gotten away with hideous crimes because our legal system has very little teeth. Our economy is already ailing, and high crime rates make the situation worse because we end up missing out on new investment opportunities that may help us stimulate the economy. Our government needs to be radical in fighting crime and send a clear message that crime will be dealt with harshly. Until then, SA will continue to be one of the most unsafe nations in the world, thus repelling good investors. The fourth intervention that SA desperately needs to be transformed is our education system and the reformation of our economy. See, our education system is outdated, and so it is not positioning our people to compete in the ever-changing global economy. We need a new education system, one that will ensure that more people can contribute to our GDP instead of focusing on only a few sectors. The reason why the USA has more billionaires than any other country in the world is because they have a diverse economy. To have a diverse economy, you need a diversified education system. There is a lot of untapped potential in SA Most of these youngsters have even given up on life because our education and economic systems are not diverse enough to include their talents. Everyone has something to offer, but our education system downplays other gifts while elevating others. According to the World Bank, South Africa is the most unequal nation on earth economically. The reasons why that is so are many. Apartheid, for example, created a very huge gap between black and white economically. It was in the political design of apartheid to disadvantage non-whites. Even though the system was abolished in 1994, nothing much has changed because millions of black South Africans are still not financially free. A shocking number of black South Africans are still living below the global poverty line. For the scales to start balancing, we need a new kind of economy, one that is inclusive. For example, industrializing townships and rural areas can significantly stimulate our economy, whereby we limit imports by producing most of our goods within the country instead of importing simple products like toothpicks, for example. Number 5, and this is very important, we need to root out corruption in government. About 50 years ago, China was one of the poorest nations on earth. Today, it boasts the world's second largest economy behind the US. China and other Asian nations have evolved for the better in the last few decades and have managed to lift millions of their people out of poverty. How did they do it? Well, innovation, economic reforms, and a strong anti-corruption drive are amongst the things that transformed these nations. Chinese President Xi Jinping has made fighting official corruption a cornerstone of his reign. And judging by the numbers alone, the campaign has achieved impressive results. Astonishingly, the Chinese Communist Party has disciplined well over 1 million officials since Xi took power in 2012. The anti-corruption campaign has snared hundreds of high-level leaders. Xi's fight against corruption has made him enormously popular among the Chinese people, and I can understand why. This is because corruption steals from the poor, halting national progress. Xi took a solid stand against corruption, even if it meant prosecuting high-ranking government officials. South Africa is marred by corruption at government level, and there is not much accountability because a lot of powerful politicians are corrupt. Until we see a corruption spring clean in government, economic transformation will remain a distant dream. That is pretty much it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And once again, if you are not yet a member of the beautiful family, please join by subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we upload new content. Have a great day and stay shining. I'm out.